We're all feeling the pinch at the moment, and it stands to reason that things are only going to get worse before they get better. So I'm going to teach you how to cut your bills using a credit card and explain how I've used mine to pay for my groceries for the past 7 months. Reward credit cards can be a fantastic way of getting the most out of your money that you've got to spend anyway. They can act as a way to cut some of your bills, get some fantastic benefits, or just earn some spare cash. But before we dive deeper, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. My name's Andy. I'm a qualified accountant and I work as a tax advisor for a large company, and that means that sadly I'm not a financial advisor. By extension, that also means that this video doesn't contain any financial advice. It's made purely for education and entertainment purposes. Reward credit cards can be really powerful, but because they're credit cards, they can also lead to things going badly wrong. Obviously, everyone loves the idea of having one fewer bill to pay, or maybe a beautiful holiday that you don't have to pay for. But paying interest on credit cards that you're using for rewards will outweigh any of the benefits that I talk about here. So let's quickly make sure that we're approaching this in the right way. A rewards credit card can give you either points or cashback based on your spend during the year. Typically, the rate you'll get rewards at is valued at about 0.5%, but it varies between cards. Reward credit cards, like all credit cards, allow you to access debt. So when you're spending this money, you need to be aware that within the next 30 to 60 days, you're going to need to pay the money back. And if you don't, you're going to incur a late fee and interest, which makes this a very expensive way of borrowing. And non-payment can mean that you won't get the rewards that you're after until you're no longer in default. If you think you may have trouble paying off the entire balance every month, then you may want to reconsider whether a rewards card is the right option for you. You'll also want to watch out for the 0% purchase credit cards video I'll be putting out within the next month, which should help you understand how these cards and offers work. If, however, you're confident that you can pay off a balance on a credit card in full every month, then a rewards card could be a really nice way of saving yourself some money. Rewards credit cards come in many different varieties, but in the UK, the way I would categorise them is as follows. You can either have a points card, a cashback card, or a supermarket rewards card. So let's talk about points cards. Points cards are provided by companies such as American Express and Virgin. These cards give you points when you spend that you can then convert into money to use to reduce your credit card bill or transfer into other schemes for things like air miles and money off purchases. They can be really varied. Some have annual fees, some have stipulations on your income, and some aren't even credit cards, but that's not important for the moment. These cards are fantastic for letting you get the best out of your spending because they allow you to transfer points into schemes that allow you to get more value from your points for specific purchases. A really good example of this is the British Airways 2-for-1 voucher, which allows you to pay for 2 tickets for the price of 1 on BA flights when you pay with Avios points. Not a deal to be overlooked. But if you're watching this video, then I suspect you're more like me, and you haven't been abroad in years because you're trying to keep your costs under control. Amex, for instance, allows you to transfer your points to Avios, which in turn allows you to buy 1.6 Nectar for every point. It may not sound like a lot, but when you spend enough through your credit card, it can make a really big difference to any shop you do at Sainsbury's. These cards also have a reputation for having fantastic introductory offers, which have earned me hundreds of pounds worth of points when I applied. But like everything, there's always a drawback. Managing these points can take a lot of time. They're reasonably complex, and if you don't manage them effectively, then the value of your rewards will likely be lower than if you were just to use a cashback credit card. Speaking of cashback credit cards, let's talk about them next. These are the default for most people because they're really easy to understand. If you don't want to deal with complex point systems and just want cold hard cash, this is likely a route you need to consider. Cashback cards give you a percentage of the amount you spend back every month simply from using the card. These cards can range from 0.25% to 5% of cashback depending on the card you use and whether you're using an introductory offer. They'll typically pay out accrued cashback monthly or yearly by reducing your credit card statement. Should this turn the balance positive, you can normally ask for a refund of this money to your bank account, or you can use it to reduce future credit card bills. Out of all of the types of the credit cards available, these will normally give the lowest value per pound spent on them because they're low effort and they're giving you rewards in cash rather than through preferred partners who the credit card company may be able to trade with on preferential terms. Finally, supermarket rewards cards like the ones from Sainsbury's, Tesco and M&S are powerful when you use them in really specific ways, but normally have significant drawbacks for anything else. They will typically give you rewards that are disproportionately more valuable for spend in their stores or with their selected partners. For example, our Sainsbury's card gives us 2 Nectar points for anything we spend in store or in Argos or at a petrol station, but will only give us 1 Nectar point per £5 we spend anywhere else. Consider that for a moment. moment, that means that this card is 5 times worse than a normal rewards card for spend outside of Sainsbury's. These cards often don't come with a fee and can offer some pretty wonderful introductory offers like 0% on purchases and sometimes balance transfer offers, but a lot of that's going to be dependent on your credit rating. When I'm choosing a credit card, I always use a comparison website. Money Saving Expert has a useful tool which allows you to see which cards you're likely to be accepted for if you apply. I'll link it down below for your use and I'll show it on screen now. As you can see, all you need to do is click on the eligibility tracker, choose reward in the drop down menu and enter your details in the boxes below. It will then show you your percentage of likelihood for approval. In my mind, there are 2 ways to manage your rewards from credit cards. You can either choose the card that gives you the highest value rewards based on your average yearly spend, or you can build your rewards around a specific scheme or goal. The former is really easy to do. You simply work out how much you're going to spend in a year through the credit card, and then you use that value of spend to compare different credit cards against each other. I put a link to my Dropbox below to a simple spreadsheet that I use myself to assess this, just in case it's useful. The second option is what I do. I applied for rewards cards specifically to reduce how much we were spending at the supermarket. I applied for 2 credit cards to achieve this. I have the Amex Gold Rewards card to get points, which I can turn into Avios and then turn into Nectar. I also get bonus Avios for achieving spending tiers and money off orders from Deliveroo up to £120 a year. This card's rewards give me £200 in value per year after the fee of £140 is paid, and it came with a very generous introductory offer which gave me value to the extent of nearly £400. I also have a Sainsbury's Nectar card, which I use to buy all of my petrol to maximise my rewards here and for any occasions where I don't have my Nectar card to pay for the shopping in full. I also regularly look on comparison websites and websites such as Head for Points, which I'll link below in the description, for any introductory offers which are worth larger rewards. Essentially, I applied for cards that specifically feed into the schemes that achieve my goal. As a result of this, I've not had to pay for my grocery shop for the last 7 months and have sufficient points remaining to cover me for an additional 2. I hope this was useful and makes a difference for someone who can use this information to fight against the current rising inflation rate. If you did find it useful but don't understand inflation or why it's even a problem, give this video a watch.